Okay, so to get started with ActiveMQ and with Artemis and all this stuff, we actually need an instance of this program running on our machine. Now, these two pieces of software are actually something that you can install on your machine and then fire it up, right? So that means we can make Docker images for them. Now I have this repository with some useful Docker images that I use. And two of them are going to be this ActiveMQ and Artemis. So this thing, when I record this thing, is the most up-to-date version that I could find. So I built these two, and they're running. So I have this Docker file for ActiveMQ, and then also this Docker file for Artemis. So this will download them and set it up so that you can run them with your Docker environment. So to build it, it's as simple as running this build script. So you don't need to worry about names and whatever. You can just execute this build script, then set up all this stuff. I also have Docker Compose files for these two images, so they'll expose the required ports for these projects or for these containers. And you'll notice that in the state that the repository is in right now, the ports and the mappings for Artemis and for ActiveMQ are the same. That means that's because they're using the same ports, those two pieces of software. But just for the demonstration here, I've modified the host port, and we can log into the sort of administrator console, I guess. Here we can see that I have this Artemis running and it's 2.43. And here I have ActiveMQ running. So they look quite different. I'd say Artemis is a bit more modern in a way. So let's take a quick look at the admin consoles. So starting with Artemis, this is the one we'll be using, but you can run either of these images. It's the same, it'll give you the same effect. Okay, so we see here that there's some stats and I have some memory usage. This will increase as the queues and the broker fills up with messages. So you can see how much stuff is on here. But probably the most used tab in this case is going to be this one, this queues tab here. This shows you all of the queues that are currently active on your broker. So in my case, I have this DL queue, that's a dead letter queue. This is a default queue that starts out, that Artemis starts out with, as well as this expiry queue. And there's some 4 messages on here already. So these messages were enqueued to some other thing. I think it was this queue test with an expiration time, and they had a time to live set to them. And that's why they ended up in the expiry queue. So they weren't consumed in time. But that's a default queue, and also this one. So some of these you might not even be interested in, but something like the dead letter queue and the expiry queue, this could indicate issues in your applications. You might want to drain them and process those messages anyway. So this is it for Artemis. We'll be taking a look at these queues quite a lot. And then we have ActiveMQ. This one is also running. It'll by default it runs on the same ports. I just changed it up so that I can run them together. But in this case, we see this banner, and then I go to manage ActiveMQ broker. And then we have the tabs up here now, the queues. And yeah, this it doesn't work too well with my browser theme, I guess. That's why it looks so weird. But there you go. We have both of these. You can run both of them at the same time. If you go and change up these mapped ports for at least one of them. So this is my ActiveMQ installation. And then this one is my Artemis installation. So now that they're running, we can connect to it, produce messages, and consume them. So let's take a look at that.